Have you ever wondered what spirituality really means? Perhaps in the midst of worries and daily routines, the concept seems distant or complicated. But today, I'm going to show you that it's closer to you than you think, waiting to be felt and experienced. I'm going to talk about how spirituality isn't limited to great rituals, but reveals itself in the simplest moments of your life, transforming restlessness into peace and emptiness into purpose. If you're looking for something that transcends words and touches the heart, stay with me. And tell me, are you ready to discover where true peace dwells? My beloveds, today I want to talk to you about something that is often misunderstood and which carries within it a silent depth: spirituality. It's easy to think that spirituality lies in beautiful words, solemn ceremonies, or sacred scriptures. But today, I invite you to see that it goes beyond. Spirituality is like the air we breathe, invisible but vital, and present in each and every one of you. It's that gentle presence that touches your heart when you stop for a moment and just feel it. Close your eyes for a moment and realize, what do you find when the outside world falls silent? True spirituality is born in the intimacy of being, in those moments when the mind quiets down and you hear the serene voice that says, I am here, right inside you. These are not complex concepts, but an experience that transcends any explanation. When I walked among you in Palestine, it wasn't in the great palaces that I saw the essence of spirituality, but in the sincere glances, in the hand extended to others, in the shared tear. This essence is still alive, waiting for you to rediscover it in the simplicity of a sunset, in the smile of a child, or in the peace that comes without warning. Have you ever noticed how in moments of challenge, something inside you awakens a strength that seems inexplicable? This is the spiritual spark, a reminder that you are more than bodies, more than thoughts. You are life, you are love, you are part of a greater presence that unites everything. And this is not something you learn in books, but something you feel when your heart is willing to listen and be humble. Spirituality, my dears, is not a distant path. It is what allows you to see beauty where others only see difficulties and to find hope even in the darkest night. You might ask, but how do I know that I'm living spirituality and not just thinking about it? The answer lies in simplicity. Spirituality is revealed when the mind is silent and the heart speaks, when you allow yourself to be touched by what is true and pure. You don't need to perform extraordinary acts or master mystical concepts. The simple fact of feeling gratitude when you wake up, of offering a word of support to someone, of choosing the path of peace when anger calls, all this is spirituality in action. It's a call to live each moment with presence and intention, and it's accessible to everyone, from the wisest to the humblest. When you understand that spirituality is a part of you and not something to be conquered, a new world opens up. You begin to realize that the sacred is everywhere, in the breath that enters your lungs, in the nature that flourishes around you, in the stillness that embraces your soul. And as you live this truth, you will feel that you are not alone, that there is an inexhaustible source of love and wisdom that sustains you. This leads to the next reflection, one that shows how this connection can transcend external practices and manifest in the very essence of being. When I walked among you, many wondered why I spoke so freely about the Father, without being bound by the religious norms and rituals of the time. And this question still echoes today. What is the difference between religiosity and spirituality? Many believe that to be spiritual you have to follow a series of rituals, dogmas, and traditions. But I want you to see that, while religiosity can be a guiding path, spirituality is the journey that takes place in each heart. Religiosity, when true, can be a bridge that connects to the divine, but it is not the essence. I see that sometimes people get lost in external practices, preoccupied with following rules and forms, while the flame of spirituality remains dormant. I don't want people to confuse this with the idea that religion has no value. When religious practices are done with intention and love, they nourish the soul. However, spirituality goes beyond the boundaries of doctrines. It is personal and profound and cannot be taught, but rather lived and felt. Spirituality is the living experience that connects you with your inner truth and the divine essence that dwells within you. Imagine, for example, a tree. Religiosity can be compared to the leaves and branches, which are visible and organized, while spirituality is like the roots, invisible, but supporting everything in a silent and powerful way. You can take part in ceremonies and recite prayers, but if you don't feel this connection from the inside out, the true purpose is lost. Spirituality is like the root that strengthens and nourishes, without anyone needing to see it. The difference between these two realities matters, because it is this understanding that will free you from the pressures and comparisons that often arise from the outside. When you approach spiritual life out of obligation or fear, it ceases to be a source of joy and becomes a burden. Spirituality, on the other hand, is a loving invitation to look at yourself with compassion and realize that you already carry everything you need to connect with the divine presence. It doesn't require costumes, specific words, or titles. It reveals itself in the silence and sincerity of the heart. And this sincerity is what transforms. It is what, in moments of doubt or pain, brings the calm that nothing in the world can offer. When you understand that spirituality does not depend on external forms, but on the truth that vibrates within, a new vision opens up. And by letting this vision guide your actions, you will realize how it is possible to find meaning and peace in situations that previously seemed empty. This leads us to reflect on how it is possible to live this spirituality in practice, even in a world that is so busy and full of distractions. My dears, I know that your days seem full of haste, of commitments that pile up like waves on a rough sea. You rush around, trying to accomplish tasks, meet expectations, and solve challenges that never seem to end. In the midst of all this, it's easy to feel that spirituality is something distant, reserved for special moments or when life slows down. But today, I want to remind you that spirituality doesn't wait for perfect occasions. It reveals itself in the midst of simplicity, even in a rush. You may wonder, how can I feel spirituality when I'm stuck in traffic, working around the clock, or taking care of so many responsibilities? The answer is simpler than you think. It starts with mindfulness, with that moment when you choose to stop for a moment and simply breathe, bringing your awareness to the present. When you allow yourself to live for a minute in silence, without judging what is around you, you feel life flowing within you. And it is at this moment that spirituality manifests itself. Inner peace is not the absence of external movement, but the resting of the soul in the midst of it. I remember when I saw overburdened people rushing to ensure their daily needs, their faces marked by worries. In the midst of this routine, an unexpected smile, a gesture of kindness, or a pause to enjoy the wind transformed the moment. You may think that these are small details, but it is in these details that spirituality grows. It is present when, even in a hurry, you find a second to look at the sky, give thanks for a meal, or simply offer a kind word to someone who crosses your path. You don't have to withdraw from the world to experience spirituality. On the contrary, it takes root and flourishes when you bring it into your daily activities. By doing the little things with intention and love, such as listening attentively to someone or carrying out your tasks with gratitude, you connect with this greater presence. It reminds you that you are not alone, and that even in the most challenging moments, there is something deeper sustaining you. Spirituality transforms the simple into the sacred and the ordinary into the extraordinary. That's why I want you to understand that spirituality is within everyone's reach, in any circumstance. No matter how busy you are, it's there, waiting to be recognized. And by allowing yourself to notice it in small pauses, you will feel that haste no longer controls you. Instead, you begin to walk with a new serenity. And it is this daily practice that takes us to a deeper place, where spirituality begins to heal from the inside out, transforming pain and restlessness into peace and hope. My loved ones, I want you to reflect with me on the wounds that everyone carries, some visible, others hidden in the innermost recesses of the heart. Life, with its challenges and losses, often leaves marks that seem difficult to heal. But know that it is precisely in these moments of pain that spirituality can become a source of transformation and renewal. When I said to the afflicted, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest," it wasn't just a promise of relief, but a call for everyone to discover the power within themselves, nourished by spirituality. Inner healing is not magic that happens overnight. It is a process, a path in which you learn to accept, forgive, and let go of what no longer serves you. Spirituality, in this context, is like a balm that soothes the soul and brings clarity to the heart. It invites you to look at your pain with compassion, rather than avoiding it or clinging to it. When you connect with the divine presence within you, you begin to realize that you are not facing your struggles alone. This connection brings the certainty that there is something greater sustaining you, and that changes everything. Imagine an open wound that, when cared for with attention and patience, begins to heal. That's how powerful spirituality is in your life. It doesn't erase what happened, but it transforms the way you carry those memories. Anger can give way to understanding, fear can be replaced by trust, and resentment dissolves into forgiveness. When you accept the invitation to let spirituality touch your pain, you discover that even the most difficult experiences can become points of light, helping you to grow and understand yourself and others better. I have met many people who have faced darkness, who carried the weight of trauma and loss. And I saw how, when they opened their hearts to spirituality, they found strength they didn't even know they had. These strengths did not come from outside, but from within, from the recognition that the essence of each person is sustained by a peace that goes beyond circumstances. By allowing this peace to flow through you, a new outlook begins to emerge, one that sees hope where before there was only despair. And when this transformation takes place, something deeper is revealed. You realize that inner healing is not just about relieving pain, but about rediscovering the fullness and joy of life. The path of spirituality teaches you that every moment, even the most difficult, can be a portal to greater understanding. And it is this understanding that leads them to seek the practice of spirituality, not as an occasional refuge, but as a way of life, where every action, no matter how small, can become a gesture of love and gratitude. My dears, now that we've talked about the power of spirituality and inner healing, it's time to see how this force can be brought into everyday life. Many believe that spiritual practice requires great effort or moments of deep meditation, but I want you to see that it actually flourishes in small gestures. It is these small actions, done with intention and love, that light the way and bring meaning to your days. Think of the simple act of waking up in the morning. When you wake up, before rushing off to face the responsibilities of the day, pause and express gratitude. It may be a thought as brief as "thank you for another day," but it has the power to change the way you look at everything to come. This small practice of gratitude connects you to spirituality and reminds you that each day is a gift, full of possibilities. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. The light may be small, but it transforms the whole environment. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. While doing ordinary tasks, washing the dishes, walking to work, or even drinking a glass of water, try to be present in the moment, feeling every detail without distractions. As you do this, you'll realize that the simplest activities become opportunities to feel life and recognize the divine presence in everything. You will remember that spirituality is not only found in grandiose moments, but in the everyday details that often go unnoticed. Also remember the power of kind words and gestures. A kind word to someone in need, a smile for a stranger, or help offered without expecting anything in return are all practical expressions of spirituality. They not only uplift the recipient, but also the giver. Every time you act with love and compassion, you feel your soul expand, and that is true spiritual practice. To act in such a way that your heart and those around you are touched by the light you carry. I know that some days are more challenging, and that you may feel that you don't have the strength for these actions. But in those moments, remember that spirituality is like a flame. No matter how small it may seem, it never goes out completely. All it takes is a breath of intention, a thought of kindness, to rekindle it. And when you do this, you create a stream of light that not only sustains you, but also illuminates those around you. So don't underestimate the power of small actions. Every choice to live with more love, patience, and attention brings a reflection of the divine into the world. When life seems heavy and difficulties arise, know that practicing spirituality will help you stay grounded, connected, and able to see that, even in the little things, there is a radiance that never fades. And so, one step at a time, you will live spirituality as an integral part of who you are, and not as something distant. My beloveds, I know that living these teachings and bringing spirituality into everyday life can sometimes seem challenging. There are times when the rush, difficulties, and worries of life can make this light seem distant. But remember, every little effort, every gesture of kindness, and every moment of presence are precious steps towards a fuller, more connected life. The rewards are not only spiritual but also emotional, bringing a peace that transcends circumstances, a love that embraces and transforms. If these words have touched your heart and awakened a new perspective, I encourage you to continue on this path, cultivating what is true and bringing that light into the world. And if you can, share this message with others so that more people are touched by this journey. Leave a comment with a reflection on what resonated with your soul. Like this video and consider subscribing so that we can continue walking together on this quest for peace and purpose. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here until the end. May your path always be enlightened, and may you discover the peace that dwells within you.